In other news, voters in Algeria are heading to the polls today to cast their ballot in parliamentary elections. But the vote has been overshadowed by cost of living concerns and bans on candidates who've been challenging the government. Authorities there have expressed concerns over a low turnout rate and in order to encourage voting have declared this Thursday a national holiday. We can now go across to France 24's Claire Paccalin standing by in Algiers. Claire, you're at a polling station, I believe. What have you been seeing?
I'm inside a polling station. This is actually a school, but it's the summer holidays, so there are no children here right now. And you might be able to make out behind me the line of people who are queuing up to vote. Everyone in that line is queuing up to cast their ballots. And we spoke to a young man who said that he felt that it was important to get his voice heard and it was important for the nation. We also spoke to the manager of this polling station, and she told us that there's been a steady flow of people coming this morning, but she's expecting more people in the afternoon. So the polling station's opened at 8 a.m. local time. This one will be open until 8 p.m. tonight. And the manager told us that more people are expected in the afternoon. It's the holidays. The weather's warm and that people will take perhaps a bit longer to get going in the morning, but there'll be more likely to be more people here this afternoon. And we have seen the National Election Authority, the ANI, making a real effort to try to encourage Algerians to come out and vote and to cast their ballot. We've seen banners and posters around the city here in Algiers saying, vote, participate, be a partner, be a decider. That's something that's clearly very important to the authorities, that turnout is higher than it was 5 years ago in the last parliamentary elections when it was only at 23%.
Claire, why is turnout such a key concern?
It's a key concern because those who don't vote, either they don't vote because this is what they tell us, either they just simply don't feel represented by the political system here, they don't feel connected to it, and so they're just not interested in casting their ballot. Others actually would go on and say that it was actually a way of protesting because they just don't feel that they can engage with the political system here, and so not voting at all is a way to protest what they feel is a political system that doesn't represent them. Now, what we saw 5 years ago in 2021 in the last parliamentary elections was that several opposition parties actually boycotted the vote. Now, the RCD, the FFS and the Workers' Party, those opposition parties are taking part in this year's vote, in part because they feel that they need, and this is what some opposition members have been telling us, they feel that they really need to get their voices heard and that they need to rejoin the political landscape, because if they boycott again, they become less and less relevant. But also there's the factor of a reform that was brought in earlier this year, whereby parties who boycott more than twice or two elections in a row, they can actually be dissolved, so the party can be got rid of altogether. And that's an effort by the authorities, they say, to prevent sort of seasonal parties coming and going, having more stability in the electoral system. Opposition parties, though, see it as a way of preventing them from continuing their strategy, which is boycott when they don't feel that the election is fair and transparent and making a real difference to the political scene here in Algeria. What I can tell you, though, is that at this polling station, the people that we've been speaking to are here because they are motivated to come out and vote and cast their ballot. But the turnout rate will be very much what's being looked at later in the day. We're expecting ANI, the official election authority, to throughout the day give updates on the turnout rate and then a more major turnout rate at the end of the day.